Pig milk exists, so why is it not in your fridge? Humans drink cow milk, goat milk, sheep milk. In some places, people drink camel milk, yak milk, buffalo milk, mare milk, and reindeer milk. So why not pigs? Pigs are mammals. They produce milk. Their milk contains fat, protein, sugar, and nutrients, just like other mammal milk. So at first, the question feels obvious. If we already raise pigs, why do we not milk them? The answer is not that pig milk is magically impossible to drink. The answer is much more practical. Pigs are terrible dairy animals. And once you understand why, cow milk starts to look like one of the most successful food choices humans ever made. Let's start with the animal itself. A female pig is called a sow. A sow absolutely produces milk for her piglets. In fact, piglets grow very quickly, so their mother's milk is rich and important. But producing milk is not the same as being easy to milk. That is the first big problem. Think about a cow. A cow has a large udder with 4 teats. The udder is easy to reach. The animal can stand in one place. A farmer can milk by hand or attach a milking machine. The milk comes in useful amounts. A dairy cow fits the human milking system very well. Now compare that with a pig. A sow has a long row of smaller teats along her underside. Instead of one large udder, she has many small milk outlets. That setup is perfect for a litter of piglets. It is not perfect for a human with a bucket. Piglets nurse together. They push, compete, and settle into their own positions. Their nursing helps trigger milk release. Then the sow releases milk in short bursts. The whole system is designed for many hungry piglets feeding at the same time, not for one person trying to collect milk slowly and neatly. That difference matters. With cows, milking can become a predictable routine. With pigs, the milk letdown is brief, fast, and closely connected to piglet nursing. If you miss the moment, you do not get much. So even if you technically can milk a pig, it is awkward, inefficient, and frustrating. The second problem is quantity. Modern dairy cows produce far more milk than one calf needs. That surplus is the foundation of dairy farming. Humans can collect milk again and again, and that milk can become cheese, butter, yogurt, cream, and many other foods. Pigs do not work the same way. A sow produces milk for a litter, and pig litters can be large. 10 or more piglets may be nursing from the same mother. Those piglets are very efficient at using the milk. There is not a huge leftover supply waiting for humans, so the farmer has to ask a simple question. After feeding the piglets, how much milk is left, and how hard is it to collect? If the answer is not much and very hard, the idea stops making sense. The third problem is behavior. Cows are large animals, but many dairy cattle can be handled in calm, regular routines. They can stand in milking areas. They can be managed in groups. They can be bred and trained for dairy work. Pigs are different. Pigs are intelligent, strong, fast, and emotionally reactive. A mother sow with piglets may be protective. If she is stressed, handling her becomes difficult and sometimes dangerous. Trying to milk a sow is not like milking a calm goat. It can be stressful for the animal and risky for the human, and food systems depend on repetition. Every morning, every evening, same process, same equipment, same result. Cows fit that pattern. Pigs do not. The fourth problem is economics. Humans do not farm animals just because something is possible. We farm animals because the result is worth the labor, feed, space, equipment, and risk. Pigs are already extremely valuable as meat animals. They grow quickly. They convert feed into body weight efficiently. They produce a lot of usable meat. That is where pigs shine. But as dairy animals, they fail. A pig dairy farm would need special handling systems, special equipment, trained workers, and customers willing to buy pig milk. And after all that, it would still compete with cow milk. That is a brutal competition. Cow dairy already has thousands of years of history behind it. It has breeds selected for milk production. It has machines built for cow udders. It has global supply chains. It has recipes, factories, stores, and consumer habits. Pig milk has none of that at scale. So even if someone could produce pig milk, the next question is, who is buying it? Most people are not waiting for pig milk at the grocery store. They already have cow milk, goat milk, plant-based milk, and other options. A product needs demand. Pig milk mostly has curiosity. Curiosity can get attention, but curiosity does not always build a dairy industry. The fifth problem is processing. Milk is not the same in every species. Different animals produce milk with different amounts of fat, protein, sugar, minerals, and water. Pig milk is relatively rich because piglets grow fast. That does not make it poisonous. It just makes it different. For humans to adopt a milk source, we usually need more than a glass of milk. We need foods built around it. Can it make cheese? Can it make butter? Can it be stored? Can it be transported? Can it be produced safely and consistently? Cow milk passed those tests in many societies. Goat and sheep milk passed them too, especially for cheese. Camel, yak, buffalo, and reindeer milk worked in environments where those animals were already important. Pig milk never found a strong role. It was too hard to collect, too limited in supply, and too unnecessary. The sixth problem is history. Domestication was not random. Humans did not choose animals only because they had useful products. They chose animals that could fit into human life. Good domestic animals usually share certain traits. They reproduce under human care. They live around people. They can be fed efficiently. They can be managed safely, and they provide reliable value. Cows, goats, sheep, and buffalo became important dairy animals because they gave humans a renewable food source. You could keep the animal alive and collect milk repeatedly. That was a huge advantage. Pigs were also domesticated, but for a different purpose. They were excellent at turning scraps, roots, grains, and waste into meat. That made them extremely useful. But useful does not mean useful in every way. A pig is one of the great meat animals. It is just not one of the great dairy animals. Once societies developed roles for animals, those roles became traditions. Cows became associated with milk. Goats became associated with milk. Sheep became associated with wool, milk, and meat. Pigs became associated with pork, bacon, ham, and sausage. Those categories shaped recipes, markets, beliefs, and habits for generations. The seventh problem is culture. Even if pig milk were available, many people would hesitate. In some cultures, pigs are avoided for religious reasons. In other places, pigs are accepted as food, but not as dairy animals. People are used to thinking of pigs as meat, not milk. That mental image matters. Cow milk feels normal because people grew up seeing it as normal. Pig milk sounds strange because people grew up never seeing it. Food is not only biology, it is imagination. Before people taste something, they decide whether it feels acceptable. Pig milk has a branding problem before it even reaches the table. Now, to be clear, pig milk is not completely impossible. People have experimented with it. There have been rare attempts to collect pig milk or make products from it, but those examples are exceptions. They prove the larger point. If something is mostly made as a novelty, it is probably not a practical staple. The world did not ignore pig milk because nobody thought of it. People noticed. People tried. And the answer was basically, this is not worth the trouble. That is often how food history works. Humans experiment constantly. We test plants, animals, tools, methods, and recipes. The things that survive are not always the strangest. They are the things that work day after day. Cow milk worked, goat milk worked, sheep milk worked, camel milk worked in deserts, yak milk worked in mountains, reindeer milk worked in Arctic cultures. Pig milk did not fit. It was not accessible enough. It was not abundant enough. It was not easy enough, and it was not needed enough. That last point may be the most important. Humans already had better options. If a cow can give you liters of milk, why struggle with a sow for a small amount? If goats can be milked on rough land, why redesign a farm around pigs? If sheep milk can make excellent cheese, why build a pig dairy system from scratch? Food systems usually follow the path of least resistance. Pig milk is not that path, so why don't we drink pig milk? Because milk production alone is not enough. The animal has to cooperate. The anatomy has to work. The milk has to come in useful quantities. The young cannot consume nearly all of it. The farmer must collect it safely. The market must want it. The culture must accept it. And the economics must make sense. Pigs fail too many of those tests. Cows pass them almost perfectly. That is why cows became dairy animals, while pigs became famous for meat. It was not a random choice. It was not a mystery. It was a farming equation, and the equation was simple. Cows give milk better than pigs do, so the next time you pour milk into coffee, cereal, or tea, remember this. You are not just drinking a random animal product. You are drinking the result of thousands of years of human selection, animal behavior, and practical economics. Pig milk exists, but existence is not enough. To become everyday food, nature has to be convenient, and pigs had other plans.